Welcome back to the water cooler, everybody. Boy, we've had I'm going to say it, we've had a great show. Thank you very much. Mike Pompeo at the top, then Marjorie Taylor Greene, then Laura Trump. My goodness gracious, it's like MAGA flag, MAGA flag, MAGA flag. And we're going to have another MAGA flag coming up, David Bossie, in just a moment, the president of Citizens United. By the way, he had an op-ed that aired on Fox News, actually just this past weekend, talking about the legislative filibuster. There it is, blowing up the legislative filibuster to pass universal mail-in voting, amnesty, gun confiscation, and the Green New Deal will cost Democrats both houses of Congress in 2022, less than 20 months from now. And this, in effect, would mark the end of the Biden agenda. That is David Bossie writing in an op-ed. And guess what? Now he gets to speak. David Bossie joining us now on the water cooler, president of Citizens United. David, great to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me back, always.
I love the fact that you come with the bookcase. I'm not sure if that's a package deal, but it looks beautiful, FYI. All right.
In the world of COVID, you get what you get.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Everybody's doing Skype shots. All right, let me ask you about this op-ed. Why don't you expand on it a little bit more? Because Democrats, I mean, what is going on? H.R. 1, the Equality Act, the filibuster, budget reconciliation. Come on, David. My goodness.
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and that's why I decided that we needed to pen that op-ed that you talked about that was up yesterday. It's almost as if the Democrats feel that they won some massive landslide election this past November. The House of Representatives has the narrowest margin it's had, the narrowest majority in over 100 years. The Senate is literally 50-50, and Joe Biden is president of the United States by about 42,000 votes in 3 states. We are a divided nation. And a divided nation is exactly why the filibuster exists in the first place. It's why the founding fathers created it. And we want to make sure that the minorities' rights are preserved. And that's what's required. That's why in the Senate, you need to have, bipartisan legislation. You need to have both parties come together to get that 60 vote threshold to really get a vote up or down on anything. That's what is required by the Senate rules is a 60 vote threshold. And that's what Mitch McConnell is never going to allow H.R. 1 or the Green New Deal. And that's what the Democrats know. If they get rid of the filibuster, they can ram through the Green New Deal and H.R. 1, which is an assault on our free speech. But they can also create D.C. statehood and give 2 votes to the U.S. Senate for the U.S. Senate in the U.S. Senate for D.C. They could do the same thing with Puerto Rico. The Democrats will run amok, and they did not win at the ballot box the power or the authority or the moral authority to be able to do this. And that's why Mitch McConnell is going to protect the Senate rules, and he has promised, and we need to make sure we hold him to this, but he promised to grind the Senate to a halt if they ever try to do that.
And these are not idle words you're talking about. And this DC, for example, this DC statehood, there was a hearing on that today in the Senate. I mean, they're pushing through all of this right now. They're trying to. So, David, what does this mean for the Republic? In other words, from a filibuster, I'm talking about from the filibuster standpoint, would this not just fundamentally change the democracy, the Republic as we know it?
It would, and I think for the long term, and that's the problem. We have these rules, and we're a civilized society based on the culture that we as a society, those norms that we've agreed to, and the Senate debate, that decorum, that compromise. Look, I'm a conservative activist. I want conservative policy, conservative legislation. But I also understand that, like Ronald Reagan, you take 80% of the loaf, and then you come back and you try to get the other 20. We don't get everything we want in the first bite, but we have to preserve the filibuster. It has to be done. At all costs. Yeah. If they do this, it has to be really a battle of attrition on the Senate floor to grind the Senate to a halt, so the Biden agenda doesn't go anywhere at any time. They get less done through Mitch McConnell than if they kept the filibuster. And let me just say, it is a key to victory. If they remove the filibuster, if they kill it, we are going to win handily. We will win back the Senate and win back the House. And Joe Biden's term will be only 2 years, because we are going to then not agree with anything. Obviously, look what happened to Barack Obama and his agenda.
Well, and that means that these election integrity efforts we're seeing in across state around the country, those are integral to this, because you might be able to win on policy based on the left going nutso, but you got to have the states and the legislatures making sure they're doing their jobs when it comes to cracking down on voter fraud.
Yeah, absolutely. If we can't win an election, what's it all matter, right? If they destroy the integrity of our voter system by just smashing down the barriers, and look, you have to have a COVID vaccine card. Okay, they want you to have to your papers, please.
What in the world?
You can come into this country with COVID. Right now, in Joe Biden's open borders policy, you could flood into this country from who knows from where, who knows your background and your intent and your health, and you can just come into this country. It's really a world upside down when we can't have basic voter integrity and voter ID laws, let alone this mass mail-in ballots that were really the key to Joe Biden's victory this past November.
I got about 45 seconds left, David. You mentioned these vaccine passports. Don't even get me started. I mean, is this where we're going? Like, hey, you've been vaccinated. You're good. You're one of the good people. You can travel.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, seriously, there's so many constitutional issues here potentially down the road. Is there not?
Well, there certainly is, and that's why you'll see these types of things, just like as if H.R. 1 goes through, you're going to see that at the United States Supreme Court. People like myself and others will take these things to court and make sure that they get overturned. We will fight for our free speech rights. We'll fight for the Constitution. But John Kerry just the other day wasn't wearing a mask on an American Airlines flight, right? And we, as your average citizen, we would be told you're banned from the airline for life.
Right.
Joe Biden, nobody even pays attention. American Airlines doesn't even address it. They say, "Oh, we're just looking into it."
Right.
And it's been days. They don't do anything. So it's the rules for thee but not for me brigade,
right,
which is what Joe Biden's administration is all about.
Dave Bossie, great to see you, President of Citizens United. Thanks for coming on the show yet again. Really appreciate you. Thank you.